I would like to ask all of you, the Ende family, the people of South Africa, to not then think ESCOM is a bad organization. It is a caring organization.
Too little, too late. To the grieving family, these words ring empty after they lost their beloved daughter, as they believe the company failed to protect Mbesile Yende, who was found dead in her ESCOM office.
I even ask God to take my life and save Thembisile's life.
Thembisile's death comes in the wake of the repeated senseless murders of young women, and the body count is piling up. For those who manage to escape with their lives, the memory of having been close to death never fades.
I really don't know where he was taking me, but I knew that road is very creepy, and if I was gonna die there, nobody was gonna find me.
While we commemorate our freedom this Youth Month, we ask, when will young South African women be able to enjoy their birthright to their freedom and equality being respected and safeguarded? 24-year-old Bukalwa Moerane was a happy Soweto-born young woman full of life and looking forward to starting a business. But on the 12th of February, her life took an unexpected turn. An unknown man abducted her from the taxi rank opposite the Baragwanath Hospital.
I just felt a man come behind me. And he said to me, "Yona, why is anything stupid? Gene modern. Why is anything stupid? Zolimal." My brain just froze at that moment, and I decided, you know what, just get in the car. You don't know if he has a gun or a knife because he's behind you. So we walked to the passenger seat, then he walked back to the driver's seat, and he kept telling me, "Don't do anything stupid, you'll get hurt. You'll get hurt." I'm like, okay.
The man didn't hide his intentions from her, and he also called a friend.
He did say that he was gonna rape me. I said, "You'll rape us, you know, you'll bulala, rape. Why is the next?"
Realizing that her life was in danger, she tried opening the door of the car, but she was assaulted.
So while saying my last prayer in my mind, I look outside and I noticed that the door was unlocked. I'm like, okay. I look at him, I look at the door, I look at him. I'm like, okay, he's relaxed, he's driving, he's not focusing on me. What do? I need to open this door and jump out. I don't know, I just said 3, 2, I don't know if I got to 1 or I just opened the door at that moment. And the door was stuck. And he started hitting me and swearing at me. So I'm fighting to open this door. He's fighting to make sure that I don't get out. It's just like a huge fight in the car. And eventually this door opened. So when I jumped, obviously he was still holding my hand, and the car dragged me for a few seconds, and I blacked out for those seconds. But when I stopped moving, when I opened my eyes, the first thing I saw was like skin peeling off my face and blood everywhere, and my glasses broke, so everything was blurry. So I got up and I started running.
Bukalwa ran on this stretch of road and tried to flag down passers-by for help.
I saw cars like coming at me now. So I stand in the middle of the road and I wave. These cars don't stop. They just drive like this, about 3 cars. So as I kept looking back, I saw this guy make a U-turn, and I saw like the wall had long grass on it, and I thought to myself, okay, the grass is long enough for me to cover myself, you know. And I just slept right in front of the wall, and I covered myself with grass. So while I was sleeping, like lying on the ground, I'm thinking, like, my eyes kept closing a bit, and I'm thinking, I can't collapse here, like I can't. And I'm bleeding a lot. I don't know how long I have, because once I go unconscious, that's it. I have no control over the situation. So yeah, I was a bit impatient, and I was like, can this guy just drive past me so I can start running again?
Even after he spotted her, with the little strength she had left, she managed to get to this BP garage.
I wasn't too far from the garage. He parked in front of me, and I ran. I flew. Like, I couldn't feel my feet touch the ground.
Here, she sought help from a petrol attendant.
Got to the first petrol attendant, and I tried to explain the story to him, and he's like, okay, let me go look for this guy, you know. I'm like, no, don't go, he might shoot you. Yeah, don't go, stay here, because I felt like he was the first person I saw, so he was my safe place, and I just couldn't let go of him. I was clinging onto that guy.
A couple of good Samaritans took her to the Baragwanath hospital.
They were like, wait for the ambulance. I'm like, Bara is 4 minutes away, and I'm gonna wait for an ambulance. They'll come here in 30 minutes. So this guy was kind enough to drop me off.
Her body was badly bruised, and she had lost several teeth. The scars on her face are a reminder of the horror that she faced, but she's thankful to be alive.
I'm lucky I thought of a way out. I'm lucky I'm still alive. I mean, I could have jumped out of that car and I could have died. He could have found me lying on those, close to that wall, and he would have taken me and killed me. He would have shot me while I was running, you know. But none of those things happened. And, you know, even if I didn't believe in God, like, this is a real miracle.
About 30 kilometers from where Bukalwa was attacked, another family buried its child, 22-year-old Karabo Mokoena, who was found burnt after missing for 2 weeks. Her former boyfriend, Sandile Montswe, was arrested after allegedly handing himself over to police.
It's hard for me to believe that's
Karabo's family and the country was baffled by the killing, even more so the gruesome manner in which her attacker tried to dispose of her body. Social media has become a buzz with the grim news of crimes against young South African women. More revelations of missing young women and others that were found dead have surfaced.
Flying fish is different from other beers, with all the bitterness brewed out and delicious flavors brewed in. See for yourself. For easy flavor, smooth refreshment, taste it for yourself. Go on, add some flavor.
If we can join our hands together against the ills of our society, we can build a better nation. One youth, one South Africa.
Special assignment travelled to Springs in the east of Johannesburg on the 25th of May, following Facebook posts of a missing young woman, Thembisile Yende, an Eskom employee. A young mother, Thembisile, disappeared at this Eskom substation. At her workplace 4 days before she was found, there was no security, no police, only her car, which her family says was parked at an unusual place.
In case of emergency and stuff, mele angithi bheka ukuthi noma kungaze kwenzakaleni ungene emotweni uyahamba. So kanje ilo muntu lokuthi nangendlela ukuthi noma siye mall kungaba nemoto la kube nemoto la nayi parking la esele anyeke aze ayipake imoto lapho.
Even though it was 8 days since she went missing, her family was still hopeful that she would be found alive.
uThembisile osoloka anyamalala ngolosithathu emsebenzini. uThembisile uzile la ekhaya wazothatha imoto ngoba imoto yakhe uyibeka la ekhaya uyipaka la ekhaya waya emsebenzini. Sabona isikhathi sesishaya uThembi engabuyi kwayikuthi sizitshela ukuthi uya prepare ngoba on Monday uThekimi she was supposed to be authorized. Sazama safonela nesupervisor yakhe kwatholakala ukuthi isupervisor yakhe ithi yona imfonele ekseni but ayazange ingitshela ukuthi umntwana ayimtholi ucingo luvaliwe. Ngize ngimcela ukuthi ngicela amane atreke imoto yomsebenzi ukuthi imoto yomsebenzi la ikhona kusho ukuthi naye ukhona. Kwayikuthi imoto at the end itholakale emsebenzini nala itholakale ipake khona akusingendlela uThembisile apaka ngayo. Ngakusasa abantwana bahamba baya la uThembisile esebenza khona balithola iqiniso amakamera bewacinyiwe. Mabebuza kumphathi wama security wathi iya tripper and njengoba itripper abantu abasebenza ka Eskom kuphela abanegunya lokuthi bayikhulule ukuthi isebenze. Sabuza why kwenzeka without isignal asanye sithole impendulo lapho.
Enhleke nenhliziyo uyafuna ukuthi ayemfuna uyama like 18 kusebusuku mawudla noma uthi udla lento lo uthi I want uThembudleni yena mangilala ngithi I wonder yena ufudumele na la ikhona mangiphumela la ngaphandle ngibheka le noma ngithi ngiyaphuma ngifuna uThembi. Ngiphuma ngiphi ngiyafuna ngiphuma ngiphi ngiyale.
But 4 days after our interview with the family, one of the security guards called the police, claiming that there was a pungent smell at her office. And that's when the family was also informed about the discovery of their daughter's body. She left a 6-year-old son behind.
Traumatized, John. Me too. Instead of, I don't know whether it's an anger or what, but what they did to my daughter, it pains me so much. I even ask God to take my life and save Thembisile's life.
The family objected to the way in which their daughter was treated by Eskom. Despite her being vulnerable, they say she was left to work alone in a secluded plant without any security, where the gate was also manually operated.
They said she never reported for duty, But how can her bike, the one she's using to go to work, it's parked in there and she's nowhere to be found? It poses another question, like how can a car be parked there?
But on the day when she arrived on the site, the CCTV was working, and they could the people who were monitoring the CCTV could actually see her. However, a few moments later, that's when the CCTV could not pick up any movements. Either the CCTV was either tampered with by someone, or it was malfunctioning, and that will form part of the investigations by the police.
The family says despite the initial search of the premises, the police failed to locate her body and were nowhere to be seen when they expected them to conduct a thorough investigation.
The police went there on the 18th and make a search around the area, but they could not find the missing person. But yesterday we got a call that the people of ESCOM were busy searching around, and when they were walking around, they felt some funny smell. That's when they called the police. We went in and we found that there was one office which was no longer used, was locked, and we went and break it, where we found the body lying on the floor.
ESCOM was quick to declare her death a suicide even before any post-mortem was conducted.
What makes them to say so? What informs their decision? And if she has killed herself for 12 days inside their substation, why they could not find her?
Post-mortem results now show that she suffered injuries to her head and neck, which indicate she was murdered. ESCOM later failed to avail itself to clarify these matters. Another young woman's life senselessly taken away. At her funeral, ESCOM board chairman Ben Gubane's words failed to reassure the family.
She was killed on our premises is a serious blot on ESCOM. But I would like to ask all of you, the Ende family, the people of South Africa, to not then think ESCOM is a bad organization.
Umanijara exelele ukuba umntana kabuyanga, amapolisa exelele de afika azokhangela bathakhulu. Ayikho into esicaphukisa ukudlula lento chairperson webhodi. Sifuna uba niyazi loo nto. Ayikho into elinyala ukudlula into yokuba abasebenzi baye emsebenzini ngoyokuthengisa amandla wabo ukuba mabaphile, suke bathengise ngobomi babo. Amapolisa afuneka yazi lento sisemsindweni. Ayikho into elinyanyisa njengokuba amapolisa abe so inefficient. Aphathi izinja kuyokhangelwa umuntu okhoyo apha next door kwi-office eva etshikiweyo, babuye besithi akho nto ifumanekayo.
On the 16th of June 1976, the youth of Soweto took to the streets protesting for quality education. At a time when young women should be commemorating the achievements of June 76, there is heightened fear on major university and college campuses in Johannesburg.
Women are getting raped right outside our doors. Streets that we walk past every day are dangerous for us. There's a femicide going on, and unless we come out as young people and say we are tired, nobody's going to help us. We need to actually help ourselves as young people of this country.
Reports of the disappearance of female students along major campuses have been made in the media and on social media. These reports have compounded the level of fear amongst young women.
I heard they're getting 500,000 for kidnapping girls, trying to take our body parts for money. Even when we were coming to Bram today, we're like, yo, can they snatch people at Bram? Let's not go there.
Police say they respond to all allegations of crime and are doing everything they can.
I don't think that SABC is sitting back when such are reported. It is the responsibility of individual station commanders to do the crime analysis and respond to those crime analyses that are presented and the trends as they come. The station crime intelligence will from time to time present the crime pattern analysis and the crime threat analysis. We respond to those. We also identify the recent modus operandis and respond to such.
We visited a number of campuses in Auckland Park and Braamfontein where such reports have emerged, and it was business as usual. The police were nowhere to be seen. We spoke to some men about the scourge.
And into areas ukuthi zenziwa yithi abantu besilisa amadoda and ewuyithi abantu ekufanele singabe siyabasupport, you understand. So mina ngicabanga ukuthi into efanele yenzeke kuyadingeka ukuthi amadoda afundiswe.
Sisi wami, to be honest, kubhlungu okwenzakalayo yona njengamanje South Africa angeke sithi Johannesburg phela, Durban sitholile okwenzakalile nala futhi Johannesburg kale khona izinto eziningi abogarabo babona babo. This thing iqhubeka nokuthi shuthi nakwezinye indawo abantu besifazane kuzoba easy kubona ukuthi bahlukunyezwe njalo belobe bashaywa babulawe.
We approached Professor Kopano Ratele from the Medical Research Council. He's researcher in the Violence, Injury and Peace Unit. We asked him what is the impact of this level of trauma in society when, on a daily basis, grieving families are featured on our television screens.
Women don't walk out, just get up from their stoop and walk out at night in South Africa, because we blame them if they do that. Are you stupid, we say, because we live with this threat of violence. This is a strange and weird thing, if you come to think of it. So we don't live in a society, which is where the question leads. We want to live in a society where we trust that we will not be violated. That when a woman gets out and is wearing whatever they want to wear, that they will not be harassed. If they walk at New York Street, that they will not, there'll be, whistles and just, people being intrusive about their bodies. And it's happened in South Africa. It's precisely because we live in that kind of society that in the end, we turn around and blame women.
The Police Unit of Family Violence, Child Protection and Sexual Offences says they battle with the lack of resources.
With the number of persons that from time to time get arrested, go through the legal system, and the overflowing, I think the Department of Correctional Service can attest to this, that we have in prisons that are overflowing. So if us sending people to prison, it's not deterrent enough. I am not sure if there will be any other ways of keeping people that have committed off our streets.
And how has this violence affected women and young girls specifically?
I see this young woman in front of me who's well dressed, who's beautiful, who's fantastic. So I imagine how do they live with this constant threat that me appearing in front of them might harass them? How do they live with this? That I might be a potential rapist, somebody who would kill them. This is not a life. This is not a life that we, if I'm a father, if I'm a parent, if I'm a man or a politician, would want to have for my child, but also for women in general.
Professor Ratele explains how society inculcates violence in men from an early age, leading to them being violent against women.
We send young men to war. We send young men to protect the nation. Yeah? So armies are populated mostly by young men. So there's an association, there's a link between masculinity and violence. And if you don't have a society that functions well, that violence, that association gets taken out where, I guess? In the neighborhood. Other people who are as vulnerable as you.
He advises that women need to be watchful to notice the warning signs of inequality in their relationships that indicate there's potential for abuse.
That you have to think clearly about the relationship you're going into. If that relationship is unequal, if the man has more power, whether in terms of money, in terms of voice, in what you want to do in your sexual relationship, if you cede those decisions and those actions to men, you're already putting yourself in danger.
Bukalwa has a second chance at life and has started the healing process, both mentally and physically. But the list of those who didn't survive is growing, and the war against women continues unabated.